Okay, we're going to explore our MyStatLab page, and you can find that in the home page as the second module, and you can click on any of these to get into MyStatLab. So let's click on any of them. And the very first time you do that, you will be asked to agree on accept some agreements. And once you do that, you will be charged automatically in your Web Smart account for the school, $89. And so once you hit accept, you'll be in my roster, and that would be the last time you'll see that agreement because you're going to automatically have access to this. So the browser check just allows you to take a look at what kinds of things you need for you to work out this this portion of the class. And that portion of the class will include your homework assignments, your quizzes, as well as access to your textbook. So I'm not going to do the installing here, but depending on what computer you're using, you might want to do the installing that you need. So once you've got the browser check worked out, you can click on all assignments. And this will lead you to all the assignments that's going to be needed for this class. Now, in Canvas, all you have right now is chapters 1 through 5, but if you get into MyStatLab, you'll see all the assignments for the whole semester. And the due dates were fixed up, so they should they should be the same as the due dates, but it looks like there's some discrepancies here. Some of these assignments are due at 2:59. It's supposed to be due at 11:59 p.m. But that's probably because I had it set before I adjusted the time zone. All right. So our first assignments are chapters 1 and chapters 1 and 2, and they are due on the 28th of January. And then the next assignment after that is chapter 3, due on February 4th. You can see the due dates here. You can also see the due dates in your calendar. Did I tell you about this calendar? Sorry. This is probably an important calendar for you to download and post up in the front of your binder or somewhere where you're going to be looking at this course. And this tells you when things are due for the whole semester. Yeah. You can find it in the syllabus link over here. All right, let's take a look at a homework assignment, for example. Some of these homework assignments have 4 problems. Some of them have up to 10 problems. So it kind of depends on the part of the section that we're working on. But you can click on a homework assignment and then click on one of those questions, and then you'll see what kind of questions that you're going to run into. And these homework assignments are assignments where you can get immediate feedback. Whoa. And then you get a check mark and you move on to the next problem. And then, again, get immediate feedback. No, that can't be right. I'm just guessing and I'm getting everything correct. Let's purposely get this wrong. And when you do get it wrong, it'll give you some idea of what we did or what you can do to try to fix it. It says one or more of your answers are incorrect, so that means I probably got one of them correct. I don't know. So let's take a look at the actual problems. It says, what are the class midpoints? Anybody know what the answers are? Well, let's just get it wrong. The idea is that when you get it wrong, they for multiple choice, they maybe give you two chances. But for open questions like this, where you have to type in a number, they usually give you 3 chances. And when you get it wrong the 3rd time, they finally give you the answer. And if it's a multiple part question like this, you get to move on. But when you're doing this, and you're getting the answers incorrect, what you could do is you can always go back and redo that part of the problem. So if I take a look at my list of questions here, I can see the problems that I got correct. I can see the problems that I got wrong or partially correct. And so what I could do is that even though I had passed that question already, and I can even shut this down and come back to it, I can go back to that same question that I was working on and ask to try a similar problem. And with a similar problem, it'll give you a problem similar to it, probably with different numbers. See, now I pressed 5 and it's wrong. And so you have an opportunity to make up your incorrect homework and get it correct. So after saying that in one of my orientations, somebody said, so you should always get 100% in your homework. The answer is yes, except one of the things that's probably going to keep you from getting 100% are the due dates. So if you don't get this done in time, then you're not going to get 100%. Okay? So it just takes time for you to work on. Did I actually try to get this correct? Let's try. It looks like the class widths would be 3. Looks like the class midpoints, I have to take these two, add them and divide it, so essentially find the average. That's 46. And if I know the class width is 3, I can just add 3 to this, 49. Is that right? Add 3. So add 3 to 49. Is that 51 or 52? 52, add 3, add 3, add 3, and add 3. And then the last thing it's asking for are the boundaries, and the boundaries are going to be, let's say, 44.5, 47.5, 50.5. Again, well, for this one, I'm looking for the spaces in between, 53.5, 6.5, 59.5, 62, and 65. So now I used to have this check minus or check X, but after I submit this and I get it correct, it's now just a regular check, and so you can move on. All right, so that's how the homework will work. Again, the only roadblock you have here is the due date. Now let's take a look at, oops. Let's take a look at another another feature of MyStatLab, or I don't know if you call it feature, but another set of assignments that you'll have to do with MyStatLab, and those are the quizzes. So the quizzes, like I said, are similar to the homework, but they're different in the sense that you have to complete the whole quiz before submitting it, and that's when you get to figure out whether you got everything correct or not. And a lot of these quizzes are multiple choice quizzes because they're based on reading and understanding the theoretical aspects of things. So I'm not going to suggest that you guess, but that's what I'm going to do just for the sake of going through this. Notice there's no check your answer button over here. It's just these 5 questions that I have to complete. And once you got everything all figured out or think it's all correct and ready to submit, just hit submit quiz, and it'll tell you what you got right and what you got wrong. And then you can review that to try to figure out what you got right and what you got wrong and try to understand the concept behind it, and then retake the quiz again. So I can close this, and then I've used up 1 opportunity out of the 3 opportunities that I have, and I can retake it. Okay? So that's the story with the quizzes. One more thing about the homework I forgot to mention. When you're doing homework assignments, there are question help buttons over here that you can click on. You can ask the computer to help me solve this. It'll walk you through step by step. You can ask to view an example. It'll have an example already worked out for you, but again, it'll ask you to walk through it step by step. You can go to the section of the textbook that this problem is in. You can open up a program called StatCrunch, and I will allow this for the online version, online portion of the exams as well. So if you want to get used to using StatCrunch, it's like a spreadsheet with special functions specifically for statistics for this class. Some tech help. And this button over here, I decided to leave it on, but I wanted to ask you to use it sparingly. And usually when you click on this button, you should have some information about what you've tried so far and why you were not able to get it. And then I'll respond back asking you what you've done, and I'll either lead you to a part of the textbook or give you some hints about this. And then you can always print your homework. You can print this whole thing, do it by hand, and then come back and put in the answers. Okay. All right, so I wanted to mention that. There are other links to MyStatLab that you can get to. The study plan, like I said, is similar to the homework assignments. Let's take a peek at that. And for this, you should probably remember to always click on all chapters. And what this does is it opens up how you've been doing in your homework assignments, and then it'll give you some push pins to work on. And what you could do is you can click on one of these things and then have a quiz me, where it'll give you a quiz. Now, just to let you know, anything you do here is extra. So whatever you do here, if you quiz me and you got a 0 out of 5 points, don't worry about it. It's not going to count. Okay? It's just that 5 out of 5 can count towards your extra credit. Okay? So don't worry about information here if you're not doing well. If you decide to bail on this in the middle, then that's fine, because it's not going to count. Question? I think to make a significant difference in the borderline cases, you need to complete about half of all the study plan assignments, and I think there's close to 500 of them. But as you're doing them, you're using it as a study guide. If you're going through the homework and you're getting it, then maybe you don't need extra credit. You're doing well, and when you take the test, you'll probably do well. But if you're doing the homework, you're getting stuck, you might want to pull out one of these things to start giving you extra credit as you're practicing things. Okay? Yes? Well, I think the getting credit for the quiz me's are the extra credit, and you need to get 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 of the questions in the quiz me section. Yeah. And then once you do that, then you get points for that, and then those are the things that are going to go towards your extra credit. No, I think you need to do the quiz me. All right. So back to the home page and the links that we have here. StatCrunch, I won't talk about that. I'll let you browse through that and explore it, see if you like it. If you don't, then don't worry about it. We do need technology. So if you don't have this, then my second suggestion would be the calculators. If you have a TI-83, 84, that's what you would use. If you don't have that, then you can use StatCrunch. It's free because it's all part of that $89 that you're spending. And you can also use Excel if you want. But like I said, StatCrunch has all the formulas built in already. The next link that I want to show you is the textbook. You can get to the textbook, access the textbook in a couple of different ways. One is eText. This is the eTextbook. The other one is an HTML version of the textbook. So the e-text allows you to jump quite easily. If you want to say jump to chapter 5, you can jump to chapter 5 really quickly with this. And then if you want to put the page number that you want to get to, you can jump to that quickly. And if you want to search, you can just type in what you want to search for, and it's going to give you the pages that looks like it has that information. And then you can just click on whatever you think is appropriate, and then it'll take you there. Okay, so it's nice, easy access to a lot of things that you can get to. The other part of this e-textbook that is really handy is that they have these icons. This is an icon where you can practice this particular problem. If you're reading through the text, you see a problem, say, oh, okay, I want to practice that. This will open up another window of a problem that looks just like a homework assignment problem. And it's going slow, so we'll skip over it. This is a video, an actual video of somebody teaching statistics. So if you missed that in-person interaction, you can have another person interaction that's not me, but still somebody that's talking. And there are other types of media that you can access, and we'll take a look at the different types of media in our next button. So the HTML e-textbook is another way to access a textbook. The tools for the multimedia library. Let's go to the multimedia library first. And I was talking about the different types of media that you can access here. If you're working on, say, chapter 3 and a particular section in chapter 3, you can find different types of media to help you learn. There are these things called animations, which is like a video, except it's not an actual person talking. That's the difference between a video and an animation, is that an animation is done all on the computer, and there's no person. You're not going to see a video person. There are applets that are things that you can manipulate. So you can put points and adjust things, and then it'll actively work with you. There's the textbook, the lectures that we've seen. You can also download PowerPoint presentations, and you can download specific videos, not just of the whole chapter or the whole section, but specifically pinpointing a problem that's related to the textbook. Okay. All right. So that's the multimedia library. These media are scattered throughout the e-textbook. And so you'll see an icon for animation. It'll probably be one of these things. You'll see an icon for the video. It'll be one of these things. This is just a good repository for you to access it quickly. The tools for success give you other types of help. It gives you some more videos on statistics, some exercise videos. It gives you a tutorial on StatCrunch and a way to get to StatCrunch. It allows you to download the data that's in the textbook if you want to mess around with that. StatCrunch has that all saved in the program. If you want to use Excel, if you have access to Minitab, you can use any of these as well. StatDisk is another one that's made especially for this textbook, and so I will also allow StatDisk for exam purposes. Actually, exam is open. The online portion of the exam is open note, open book, so you can have whatever you want. So any of these programs and any of these tutorials, they have these tutorials that come with it. And video technology video tutorial allows you to access videos of the particular technology that you're using. Okay, so all this information is in Tools for Success. So I suggest that you take a look at that as you're warming up to the course, and once you get used to something, you'll probably stick with that throughout the whole course. But I want you to try to see if you can examine all the different aspects of the technology that's available here. Okay, so that's the rundown of MyStatLab, and I hope that's going to be useful for us. So I'm gonna stop this.